All right, there we go. All right. I think I'm on now. Great. Perfect. I have to open up the chat. I should also make sure I have the chat visible on I always sit like a little right on the on my seat, so it kind of makes me have to move things around. Okay, brilliant. All right. I'm just bringing the chat up, but we are starting on page 119. You do not need to have read the book in order to join us. I see some people are on the server are in. We also have everyone on Twitch and YouTube. So you do not have to have read the book to continue book club with us. The way this book is written is pretty great. That everything is segmented. So I'm just trying to get the chat up for restream. So these are the suggested exercises that we were going to be doing. So take a look, and you guys can, I'm pretty sure, figure out some examples for like this was something. And then if you have dedicated yourself to a deity, like, you know, question number 2 and 3. All right, so I'll leave you guys thinking about that question for a second. Hi, Stella. Hi. Dazai? I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Hi, Thunder. I see you. Awesome. Now I need to see the chat for this. That's very annoying. I'm trying to see the... Oh, here we go. No. God damn it. Sometimes I tap faster than my, than the machines can handle. Oh, okay, no, this is perfect. I just have to get this on my big screen. I have a separate screen that attaches to my phone, so it's really handy because then I can see all the chats at once. If I bother to look. Dazai. Soft A's because Japanese. Oh, okay. Hey, Sacred. Yay! You have been revived. All right. So I've been kind of chilling, waiting. We're talking about the suggested exercises from last time and going into chapter 7, oaths, vows, and prohibitions, which I think we'll finish today. Maybe. We'll see. All right. So I'll tell my story, and then anyone who's watching live stream, If you want to answer the questions, you can put them in the chat and I'll read them out. And anyone in the Discord server, raise your hand and I will bring you on stage. I think I need to move this to the other side so that I don't miss people responding. Okay, so consider how you realized the presence of a deity in your life. When was it, and what clues or signs made you aware of their presence of the divine? Like, I have a few stories that I like love telling on stream because I think they're really cool stories. I just click on this. Why? There we go. So one of them was hey man, I just realized my camera's not on. Fuck. It's like, wait a second, my camera light's not on. Hey, there we go. This side's way brighter because the window side, little blown out. Sorry. So one of the stories I tell is I had gone over a friend's house and I was talking to them because at the time I was thinking about doing like a talk and like basically like being like more in public, I guess, and being in a public event, and I'm like, oh, what if I look stupid or whatever, you know, like we all do, like we all say. And they were like, nah. And so I was thinking about that. It was very late at night. It was very, very late. It was like 2 a.m. I think when I left, and they lived, I think, like half hour, 45 minutes from my house. So the entire way I was thinking about this, and I was like, I don't know. Like, am I really intelligent enough? Like, am I really knowledgeable enough? Like, I don't feel knowledgeable enough. I'm still not knowledgeable enough, in my opinion, to speak, you know, publicly and like about stuff. Because I was like, oh, what if I like fuck up and look so stupid, blah blah blah. And so during this car ride, I was also it kind of shifted into less of a thought to myself and more of like a prayer, being like, I don't know. Hey gods, guys, like, what's up? Do y'all think like I could like, and it kind of turned to that. And so I get to the back alley of my apartment complex, and again, being ass o'clock at night, and I did not live in a nice neighborhood, okay? Fancy shit. We didn't see a lot of like fancy decor stuff. So I'm driving down 2:30, 3 a.m., whatever, back alleyway, and I suddenly see this flash of white as I pass by something, and I slammed on my brakes. Not because of the flash of white, but because of what I thought I saw. Because what I thought I seen was I immediately put that sucker in reverse. And it was what I thought I saw, which was it was a like Roman style pillar. Now, my happy ass is like, yeah, I know. It was late. Look, I'm used to it. I was very much used to it at that time. Now I'm old and fall asleep at 10 p.m. But, what I thought it was this Greek style pillar. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be so cool. And I'm like, it's, you know, no big deal. I can totally take that thing. It's like plastic or something. It was made of plaster. Yeah, this wasn't some cheap ass piece of shit. This was going to be something that was going to cost somebody a little bit. Yeah. Right. And it was almost perfect. I still lifted that sucker at 3 a.m. and brought it home. It was only down the street, so like I just shoved it in my car. But still, it was like I was like, message received. Thank you very much. I was like, message received. Shortly after that, I went to my grandmother and I was like, I know what faith is now. I understand. I got it. The whole shebang at that point. Because at that point, I ended up doing a public talk on like basically everyday things that you can do to honor the gods, really. Because at the time I was with another organization that was very didn't talk about that very much. So I was like, hey, some of us have chronic issues. Give us a break. We can only do so much. I'm sorry, my camera is getting that little black corner, which I hope I fixed it. So that's one story I have, and like that, I definitely realized that if anything, that was like the second time that I realized I'm like, oh no, the gods are legit in my life. All right, I'm gonna tell sacred story. If anyone wants to come up and share their story of when they realized a deity was present in their lives, just raise a hand in the Discord. So, Sacred. Oh, very recently, after a while of turmoil of school, I was able to come back to worship Apollo. Yay! I know that's always hard when you like have to slow down because of dumb life shit. And suddenly I felt my creative desire to write, dance, sing come back after a long time of a creative block. Aww, that's wonderful. That's so sweet. I love it. It's so wholesome. All right, Stella. Did I bring you on stage? No? What did I do? Oh, there it goes. Oh, I can't hear you. What? Why? Hold on. Let me just check it's not me. Say something again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Discord put me on the wrong audio device. Dumb Discord.
Ah, okay. No
Yeah.
worries. I remember, like, 2 years ago, I was, like, I had, like, this really big plan. I was, like, gonna hang out with, like, a huge group of friends. We were gonna, like, do a bunch of things for, like, a whole day. But it was planning to, like, storm. And, like, it wasn't gonna storm before. And then I woke up that morning and I was, like, super excited and it was, like, raining. But the second I set foot out the door, it stopped raining. And, like, literally, the sky cleared in, like, 5 minutes. And I was like, Zeus, are you pulling up? Oh, yeah. I was, like,
That's
really happy, and I was like, wait,
amazing. Wow.
yeah. So that was my story.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant. I have it's Sacred is on the chat going like gasp face. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna throw it back down. I'm gonna share another story. Oh, actually, so that was the sign was that you received. The sign of their presence was the potentially of the storm stopping.
Yes.
And since you're up here, I'm just gonna ask you, and I'm gonna tell another story of how I realized a deity was in my present or in my life. So have your experiences with the deity chose you to dedicate yourself? Have your experiences with the deity you chose to dedicate to differed from any experiences with those who just like showed up without you seeking them out?
I actually didn't understand that question at first.
Okay.
So I
the difference. So I'm getting the difference. It's rather someone who you like you started worshiping a deity before like you saw any signs of them being present in your life. You were just like, I want to work with this deity for no other reason than I want to work with them. Versus ones who just like showed up. Like, I'm sorry. I said the same thing twice. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, ones that you chose to dedicate yourself to for no other reason, and ones, yeah, who just showed up. Like, have you had both experiences, or have you always had one or the other?
I've had both, because, like, I'm very devoted to Lucifer. But I've also, like, had my fair share of work with mainly Greek deities. Because those just kind of show up for some reason. I don't know why it's only them, but it's always just them. And it's always like
that sounds about right.
Show up.
Like that sounds about right. We're just gonna be like, hey, we're here.
Yeah,
I think that's funny.
That's kind of what happens.
So, have your experiences between either of those two, have they been like different in your practice, or do you practice kind of similarly with all of the deities you work with?
Yeah, I like structure, so I like kind of do the same thing for all of them.
That makes sense.
But I do make sure that like I tailor it to each deity.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I do pretty much the same thing.
Everyone's getting matching bracelets, but it has your own name on it.
Exactly.
Right, so
Literally
it's
that.
right. Um, I would totally make bracelets if I like. I'm thinking like metal bracelets where like, it has to be engraved, right? Because it has to be customized. Um, and I'm just like, man, I wish we could make metal bracelets for the like customized bracelets like that for the deities. That would be super cool. But that's because I'm a
That would
jewelry
be
whore.
so cool indeed.
I know.
Totally
Um,
fair. I think my first offering ever to Lucifer was also a bracelet I made.
oh wow, that's awesome. That's great. So do you? And that's a further question in that part of your practice. Do you give offerings to all of them, or like
Um,
similar types of
well,
offerings? Like, do you do primarily like libations, like drinks or stuff?
no, I kind of just like, hold on, let me see on my altar.
I love that.
So like
Let me go
for
check my altar first.
yeah, cause like for Asclepius, I have like a little vial of green tea
Mm-hmm.
and like crystals. But then like for Lucifer, I have like a mirror and perfume I made and like a little crocheted bow and a big motherfucking candle. So they're like different.
Yeah.
But like for when I did work with Apollo, like I would just be dancing in my room and go, "That's your offering. There you go.
Yes, we fully
Have that."
support dancing as offerings and dedications. Brilliant. I'm gonna stop
So
harassing you, and I'm
yeah,
gonna tell a dumb story because it's funny. Um, and then we're
sure.
gonna actually go on to like the chapter we're talking about. How do
Yay.
I how do I kick you off the first? Oh, there we go. Move to audience all the way at the top. All right. Um. So, by the way, my answer for number two is no. I don't. I haven't specifically dedicated myself to any specific deity in general. Um, I don't know. I'm an equal opportunity worshiper. I don't know. Um, so that, but I can say that how was having a dedication to deity impacted your practices? Uh, the impact on my practice in general by the gods has been it's starting to take over my life. Legit. And I'm not mad about it. Um, and so the last story I have for you guys was now this wasn't the first time that I received or felt like Dionysus was involved in my life. Dionysus was definitely not involved in my life before this. Um, and I know, right? It's so yeah, no worries. So I had prayed one day to both Aphrodite and Dionysus, asking for more love in my life and for a more work life balance. And I got a stoner boyfriend. I know. I didn't realize that until later. Um, um, but what was interesting was that, like, I had not done much for well, I don't know. I feel like Dionysus just walked into my house and was like, "I'm here, welcome." Because I also got a cat from Dionysus, kind of. One of my cats, I his name is Dio. I'm sorry, his name is Dino because of Dionysus. His actual name is Dionysus. Everyone just started calling him Dino, and it's stuck. And I'm mad about it. Because we did an offering on Dionysia and we offered like Korean barbecue, which I think is dope as fuck. And apparently, so does Dionysus. Because next thing we know, my husband goes out and comes back. My partner went out and come back and to go get a drink, and he had on the way just like this cat followed him back, like just and was like wagging its tail like a dog. Duly note, wild animals. This was an animal that was not owned. It was an outside cat. So, although it technically was owned, it was an outdoors cat. So wild cats are associated with Dionysus. Dionysus is a little like, let's have some fun. So, confusing the shit out of you because your cat acts like a dog. Like it even like like it was like doing all the noises and the starfles and everything like a dog. And I'm like, what? That's how exactly. So he tells me this. I'm like, well, where's the cat? And he's like, it's sitting outside the door. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try something. So really note, I had a cat at this time. It's this adorable little bitch. And so I was like, all right, you go over there and like watch our cat because like she might get mad, which is fair. And I open the door and the cat's sitting there and I go, Dionysus, would you like to come in? And I swear to you, the cat just strolled in like it fucking owned the place. And I was like, and it just went up to my cat's bowl and my cat just sat there, I swear. If I called you, I'm so sorry. What? No. I'm good. Tried to turn you. Oh no, no worries, no worries. No, I didn't get a call. At least it didn't. Maybe it didn't let me. And like my cat was. Huh? You? Okay. Sorry, I was being made aware of happenings in the home. I swear to you, for days, I was like typing on every group I knew, and I was like, "This is the thing that happened. Somebody please." And everyone was like, "Yeah, no, that sounds about right." Yeah. And my cat just let him eat out of her bowl, drink out of her water, and she was like 2 feet away. Didn't have a problem, and I went, "Holy shit! Even my cat knows it might be Dionysus." She's being very welcoming right now, very Xenia. So it was quite funny. So I thought we'd end off the story as in a funny one, and I legitimately like there's so many things. And then like like also God phoning is a thing where you like hear deities. Like that sounds so crazy when I say it out loud like that. But I didn't realize how much Dionysus was in my life until my partner went to give me something. And it was a liquor bottle, and he was like, "Hey, I thought one of your gods might appreciate this. Could be used as like a candle thing." And I literally heard as if someone was in the corner of the room shouting at me, "Mine!" And within a heartbeat, I knew it was Dionysus. And I was like, well, yeah, he's definitely around. Dionysus would like this liquor bottle, please. Thank you. My Dionysus stories are some of the more fun stories, I think. So, all right. Chapter 7, Oaths, Vows, and Prohibitions. So, as always, the chapters are started with a personal story. We're not going to read that out loud. Not that we're reading the chapter together, but we're discussing it. So, if anyone has any questions or thoughts, you can type them in the chats. You can raise your hand and come up on stage. So I did like, first off, that we went into the definitions and made the distinction between an oath and a vow. So an oath is a promise that is usually made before a witness of some kind, or a witness or some kind of authority, as a guarantee that the action will be done. Where's my highlight? Oh, I literally highlighted it, and how terrible, it ignored me. As opposed to a vow, which is a promise. There we go. A promise to take certain actions or uphold certain values. So, like, if you were to say, like, I'm going to use the Delphic maxims to guide my life choices, well, that's like a vow, right? As opposed to, I'm gonna go get a what do they call them? By the way, let me know if you guys. I'm gonna keep talking, but let me know if you guys can hear the lawnmower outside. I'll just close the window. So this would be something like you're gonna get a notary. There we go. If you've ever had an important document that you had to have marked as official witness, thank you, Stella. Awesome. I fucking love this mic. It's such a good mic. It's very much of a directional. It's the Blue Yeti. If you'd like to give us $3, you can go buy this fairly expensive mic on Amazon through our links on the Twitch channel. You know, like we get like 0.3 cents or shit. I don't know. So there you go. If you guys like this mic, sorry, I'm just moving where my feet Yeah, if you ever needed like a notary to make as a proof to show like this is an official document, like so and so actually signed this, that's more like an oath, right? Um, do do do. Also, there's like an accountability buddy aspect to it, right? So many use oaths and vow interchangeably. Understand, they're fairly similar, small distinction. But they're both promises, and if broken, could have consequences. So she goes tell several stories about like examples of like consequences as well that have happened to people that she knows about, or give examples of them. So let's see. Do, do. Generally, here's a good bit as well. Generally, a vow tends to be of a more personal nature, and is usually individual as opposed to rather a large group, right? Let's throw a party. Oh, let's have a wedding, right? Everyone saw this. We got married. Um, let's see. I should have highlighted stuff before. I always forget to do that, and it makes my job on streams really more difficult. I like this. This was when I tend to think of oaths kind of like as a contract. There are obligations to what party involves, and there's stipulation. Here, this is where I wanted to talk about. So, in many cultures, how an oath was taken is a ritualized process, right? That's very similar to, like, Hellenism, where things are more a ritualized process as well. Really? There we go. And it's not unlike our modern concept of swearing an oath to office or telling the truth on the swearing to tell the truth on the Bible. Blah blah. Swords and other. This was my favorite part. Swords and other weapons have been historically been used. Yes. And here it tells. I'll just read it. We can see this in the cattle raid of Cooley and Irish saga, where a warrior Fergus swears an oath upon his sword, naming it as a sacred object of the goddess Masha. I don't know how to say that. So that's like a really good example. Also, I would bring up the example, like the knightly code. When you're knighted, you have to abide by the knightly code and knightly measure, which is something I was obsessed with when I was a kid. So that's how I learned about that. I like this one. This is interesting here. But it's talking about something that's called a ring, but it's not like a ring we wear on like our finger. It's a big ass ring, and the priests would have to put that on every time they did something. And if there was like a sacrifice, they'd have to use the blood of the animal on it. It says right here, and I think it's later on she talks about. Let's see. Then there's oaths out of reciprocity, so it can be like considered bargains or short-term agreements. For example, when I go up to Alaska, I've done this for 2-3 years now. Every time I go to Alaska, it's a business conference, so I really, of course, want to make a lot of money. And I've done offering. The first time I did this, it was on a whim, and now it's more planned. I've done an offering to the gods and specifically to Hermes, because Hermes is the deity patron of merchants, etc. And so I usually give like foods or like gifts or something. I don't usually do like body things. I know some people do, and my hair is something that I value a lot. If everyone ever did a prank on me where they cut my hair, I would probably never speak to them ever again. That's it. Like, I would be so fucking mad. So what I did the first time I did it was I was on this beautiful, not really a beach, more of like a waterfront. There was a highway that goes past, and you can just pull over and go to this beautiful waterfront that's in. If you ever look at Anchorage, it has beautiful mountains, snow-capped mountains, and you can like see the water melting and going into the ocean. So we stopped there, and it was breathtaking. And of course, this is really far up. I've never been this far north. And so I bit off a piece of my hair and put it as the offering. Um, I made a good amount. I have continued to make a decent amount of money at these shows. Um, Maybe like a little less in the recent years, but I thought like a year or so ago I was gonna hit max saturation, and I didn't, because it's a very small community there, and I still didn't this year. I made just as much, so I do it every year, and so that is an oath of like reciprocity, right? Um, Please let me do well on this. Here is my payment. Here is my promise that I'm gonna like do my best, and like I'm gonna keep coming up here. I'm gonna keep doing my business. But this money would really fucking help, right? So that's kind of an example. And then being specific. Be specific, and if you can do time frames are good. So like that example, I brought that one up as the fact that it does have a time frame, right? Eventually, I gotta get on the plane to get GTFO. So it's that. I'm making sure I'm checking all the chats here. Then there's also oaths of service, right? These are ones that we are more familiar with, right? Oh, come on, do the thing. It's probably one that most people are familiar with. A lot of people who I know who have dedicated themselves to certain deities, that's of course how they're doing it. They're taking an oath to be a. I know someone who's like an oracle for a deity. I know someone who's dedicated to deity. I know a lot of people are dedicated to various deities. No problem, Amarius. Bye. Sorry if I fucked up your name. Jesus. It's okay. My last name is really hard. That's why I never like. I'm always like, don't even try. Just call me Victoria. So like, I'm not gonna put you through that. So yeah, acts of service is dedicating to a deity as a patron. There we go. Right. Also can be a vow of priesthood. I hope to take this one day. And like make it like an official dedicated part of my life. My life's just a little busy right now for that. But yeah, it can be dedicating yourself as a priestess, as an oracle, as a devotee. Dedicating yourself to a deity specific. So, you do every oath of service will be different. As every deity may ask different things of us, right? This is a good story of her own that she promised that she did what she would do is every time she was going to do a ritual. Is this the one? No, that's the one where we're writing a book. There was another one. It was a different deity. I'm just going to tell you the story. One of the deities that she devoted herself to, she would do like an offering of like a few drops of blood before doing like a public ritual stuff for this deity. And many times she would see afterwards, when she forgot, that she would get like a small cut, or if she was outside she'd get scraped by a bush. And so to her she was like, oh shit, I forgot to do this, to offer this, therefore the deity is taking this. And I was like, oh damn, yeah. Anyone on the Twitch, just hang out for 60 seconds. We're gonna put an add-on so that we can make like 0.3 cents. It is kind of like a sad amount, but it does help. Every penny helps, right? Especially because we have to buy a new SSL certificate for the website. Those are so expensive. It's a crime. It's terrible. All right. So there's some difficulties of people in regards to making oaths. Priesthood, yeah. There's a lot. So we don't actually have like a certain thing that you need to do to become like a priest. I'm actually working on my own list. I'm collaborating with others on the list of things that I want to learn as part of. Thank you. As part of what I think I need to, because I feel like I need to earn this title. And honestly, I wouldn't take on like an official title, because not just priestess and calling myself a priest, or priestess, but also, brain died. But also making sure that like I'm gonna get the legal stuff too, so I can actually be able to marry people and be able to say confidently that I have done the work to try to earn that title and the respect of that title from the community. Um, to be because obviously mine would be a little bit more public, so which is terrifying. Um, talk about the opportunity to be to fall flat on your face. Like, oh, now people are definitely watching. Um, but so it's we started off with 4 pages, and this is just the titles of things, like the titles of books or topics that I need to research, and it's 14 pages now. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life doing this. It's been decided. I know. It's like, because I'm like, okay, I have to understand like the top 5 religions in the world, right? Because eventually I'm gonna get into an argument or something with some or debate something with somebody. It's gonna happen. All right, then I need to know like some of the main and like in depth, like know like the top, I don't know, 4 major pagan religions or pantheons, right? Like I need to know for sure the Egyptian, the Greek, the Roman, and the Norse pantheon, like the back of my hand, and the rest of them like Druidism, Wiccan, um, like right, yeah, that's what I mean. Like the things that I think I would need to know to be able to say like I'm well educated enough to and trying to I'm gonna try to publicly earn this title. Woo! um, and I also want to learn astrology, astronomy. I need to know more about the sciences. I need to know about like crystals and shit, like kind of like the back of my hand. Oh yeah, that's right. Um, yeah, I need to learn a lot. I see. So I would need to be semi familiar with the Mexica mythos, right? Like I would need to like know about it. Like I could probably name like a couple of major deities, right? And kind of know a little bit like of the most well known mythologies, right? Yep, there you go, exactly. That's so sweet. I love it. Um, yeah, so like for me there's gonna be a whole fucking process. I also part of that it would also be me being able to speak multiple languages. So like Spanish for sure is the one. I'm working on Spanish anyway because it's a handy language to know in California, but still. And a lot of countries speak Spanish or some variation. So oh, I speak English. I speak Armenian fairly fluently. I know a little bit of Farsi. I have learned French enough to get around France. Um, kind of like obviously I'm a tourist. Um, but and I'm gonna have to bring the book with me because I'll forget and I'll get my words mixed up, especially now. And I'm trying to learn Spanish. I'm trying to learn Spanish fluently. I gave up on French for a while. I'm gonna work on learning Spanish fluently. Unfortunately, this thing always happens when I'm trying to speak Spanish to somebody. Um, I will go and I'll practice my thing and practice the thing and practice the thing, and I'll go to talk to them, and out comes Armenian. I've literally done that. Like I'm in line. I'm ready to order. I know what I'm gonna order. I know the questions that I'm probably gonna get asked, and I'm gonna have the answers. I get there and I just Armenian, and then just I've just turned around. I've just been like, I'm sorry, and just turned around and left. Like, it's so bad. Yeah, right. Yeah. Just like die inside. So yeah, so for me, my path of devotion, my devotional path to priestess because of my own standards, um, involves so much more. Focus to your Canadian friend. That's awesome. I love it. Uh, um, I imagine it must be really funny, like on the other side, on the receiving end of that, being like, "Oh, they tried." Um, excuse me. So my path is probably different than a lot of other people's path that I've met. Um, and at least just for devotion to becoming a priestess. I'm 1 foot in the door in that already. I know it's guaranteed. This is clearly where my life is going, and at this point, everyone I know is kind of being like, "Yeah, just do it," including my including my Republican, very Christian father. Who I mentioned recently the other day about many of us talking about like putting up temples and stuff like that. And I'm like, I would want to do it at a house that I owned. So I could also have like kind of a hostel for people who want to come to the, or need a place to stay in the community, whatever, as like a affordable like thing because I'll have already, it's already, and that'll give me space to maybe do like retreats and stuff. Now my dad is super into business. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. They're just making a noise outside. You poor thing. Um, and like legit, this man starts looking for properties for me in like middle of ass nowhere. To which I told him, look, if you're actually gonna help me with this, I need you to make sure of 2 things. There has to be certain legal things that are okay in that state, um, because of course we're gonna be like, I mean, I'm in the alphabet mafia, so of course we have to make sure that it's a safe place to stay. So I just find it really funny. Yeah. Alphabet Mafia. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. It's just a goal for me. Like I don't have any money to dedicate to this whatsoever. But like that would be really cool. And I love that he's like that level. My grandma was that level of supportive. My dad, he's not we're not going to get into talks about it, but he has asked me about some of the myths. And because you know what, I think he sees the same thing because like a lot of people, and to him, I think before I moved here, he didn't really respect um our religion, or that was my faith. I think he didn't think it was that level, um because they don't know, right? People don't know. And I think once he saw the dedication, he began to respect our path more, um, because it didn't click for him that this was the same kind of practice that he had until that he saw that I did it, and he saw the yep, and he saw our calendar and everything, and I'm just like, oh no, yeah, no, this is my life now. um uh so that's fun. That's a fun wholesome story for you guys. I love telling stories. Don't get me started on that shit. Okay, so pagans, by their very nature, will tend to worship many deities. I every time I see this in here, I'm gonna highlight it because a lot of people have the question of, is it okay for me to worship multiple pantheons at once? Like, won't they get mad? Bitch, they're deities. If they were mad, you would fucking know it. And if they were mad, like maybe they're fighting with the other person. I don't fucking know, but you know what? You would probably know it if they were mad at you. I feel like, which is another story that she tells later, in this section is relevant, which is spiritual prohibitions. Um, Spotify playback paused while transmitting audio. I don't know why it paused. Probably because the album ran out. And I had it. Yep, and I didn't have it set to. Oh, there we go. And I didn't have it set to repeat. So most religions have some kind of spiritual prohibition as part of their religious devotion. Um, in many cases, adhering to these prohibitions has less to do with making the promise directly to a deity, but more to them, with them taking part and becoming a follower of a deity, and that deity's religion. So, for example, Christians, some Christians will, as part of their devotion, give up some foods for Lent. Orthodox Judaism, eating kosher foods, and refraining from sex with a woman while she is blah blah blah. I'm not highlighting that part. Um, sorry, I'm trying to pick out the other parts here. There was another example. Another one is my grandfather was Baha'i, and in the Baha'i faith, you can't. No alcohol is a big thing. There's certain foods, but no alcohol is like a big thing. Um, I'm gonna like, yeah. There were a couple cases where he accidentally ingested alcohol, and other people realized it, and we were like, nobody tell him. He will feel like shit, and it was completely unintentional. He had no way of knowing. Um, but those were the only times that I think my folks have ever told me that he drank alcohol. Like he was very strict about that. Um, and I bring this up because I know some Jewish people are less strict about certain restrictions within their faith, and there's many people are, you know, like some people like to do the religious practice every day. Not like to, but are supposed to do their religious practice every day. Some cultures say you have to pray multiple times a day. Um, some people are more strict, some people are less strict, and I just want to make sure I'm telling for everybody, because we always want to tell this kind of thing, is all of that is valid, right? There's no we all that we all accept that each other's practice, and the level that we can participate in some of these prohibitions as well is also can be limited sometimes, and all of it is valid. It's our devotion that matters, right? And I say this because I know this can be because people are spoonies, not chronically ill people such as myself. Where as much as I would love to exercise every day in honor to Aries, my knee is fucking murdering me today. Man, I would, if someone said, here's the needle and inject this in your knee right now yourself, and it will make it go away, but you have to do it yourself, I would do it. I would do it. And so, as much as I want to go on a walk this evening, as I do every evenings, and say, you know, hi to Celine and good night to Helios, as much as I want to exercise or use my exercise bike today as part of my practice, I cannot. And I'm gonna praise Asclepios on that one. You know, we're just gonna turn it into praising Asclepios instead. And many people can't do things like getting to do their prayers because they have to work. And we just want to make sure that everyone feels supported in the community as well. And it's the devotion that matters, right? Hearts. Y'all in the Discord server can't see me doing like hand motions and stuff, so I did a heart hand motion. Because I don't have a second camera. Oh, that's what I was going to set up today. I just realized that I do hand motions all the time, and y'all can't fucking see me. And you have to be on the video streams to see it. So there's stories in here. The first story here is that their friend, yeah, you can see it. That's right. Yeah. She shares a story about a friend that had a mishap when one of the prohibitions was no sexual activity, and they did, and then they got and they're called STIs now. This was probably a little outdated, but yeah. And there she gives a couple other examples, but spiritual prohibitions, as she's about to say, are a gray area, right? And so sometimes it has to do, the oath is something you promise to do, while a prohibition is something you're promising not to do, right? Same coin, different side. Okay. Here we go. There, which is exactly what I spent 20 minutes saying. But I wanted to give examples and such. Okay, when oaths are broken. Again, one of the things I was, why I was saying it, because of the other section, it was mentioned a couple times in this chapter that, like, hey, it's valid. So, yeah, you have to, you know, right here, unforeseen health circumstances. And she gave her own example as well. I have to make a specific kind of offering. Oh, this is the one that she gets cut. I love this story. This is so funny because I was like, oh, where is it? And she was taking it. There we go. I love that. That made me crack up. Like when she realized she forgot to the offering and realized that the deity was taking it. Love it. Hilarious. When dedications end. This is really important because I know a lot of us become dedicated to a deity, and it's just a general thing, right? and there's no end point. And I know I've heard from other people that felt like a lot of guilt when realizing that they're moving towards a different path, and that it was very hard to do so, to let go of that relationship with that deity, because they felt like they were breaking an oath or something, right? They felt like they were doing something bad. But life happens. Our paths are all unique. Maybe part of our path is learning how to do that. But it's a lot. This is great because now, of course, it was in this chapter, so we get to read a little about it. So, and that's actually what she. Oh gosh, darn it! There we go. No, actually here, not everything is. This is the whole first section here. So yeah, and not everything is permanent. Change is part of life. That. What else was in this section that I thought was super important? Dude, right here. There you go. The exact example I gave. So, like many folks who find paganism, I was baptized and went through different religions, religious dedications within Christianity. That's one. And of course, you can also do that when it's involving different pagan paths as well. Endings don't have to be bad, and many times they're healthy and necessary. Think of like when doing tarot, where we have the death card, right? The death card means something is coming to an end, but it's not great. Oh my god, I have a better example of this. God damn it, I'm getting divorced. I'm getting divorced. There. Actually, this has been a topic for quite some time on the server, because it's been happening for quite some time. Not really on the server, but more on the streams. The endings, although it's not going as swimmingly as I would have liked it to, the ending itself isn't bad. Because one of the things, as the reasons that I wanted to get divorced, was I recognized that we were growing apart. I recognized there wasn't needs being met, and that I could not meet some of those needs for him, in the sense that my husband was, or has been for his entire adult life, had chronic major depression disorder. It's bad. It was really bad. It was really bad. And there came a time that I had to look at this and go, my ego is nowhere close to as important as the person I love getting care. To the point that I said, I realized that I can't be that. And as sad as it is, he needs more help, and he needs someone that's not me. He needs someone more. Oh yeah, no, it got really bad. It includes a restraining order now. But I'm not upset about it. That reason also helped me not be upset about it. But I'm not upset about it, because you know what? We had a good run. I was married 10 years. This year, I think, is 10, 11. I don't fucking remember anymore. I stopped counting. 10 years. There were great times. There were good times. There were shit times. I learned and grew. I think he learned and grew in some ways. I don't know. Not my place to say if someone learned or not. But I certainly know it's giving him the opportunity to. And that's good. That's a good thing. Learning and growing is good. We don't stay in this. Many of us aren't born and live and die in the same house. Many of us grow and change. We experience different things. And that is the same with any spiritual path. And yeah, we have tons. And again, it's like, think of it like the death card. Like the death means something is coming to an end. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean your whole world falling apart. It doesn't mean that your whole world has to fall apart. Saying tower moments, right? So yeah, it's okay. And the other thing is that it's okay to mourn this change. It can be really difficult, but maybe it's necessary. And it doesn't mean you have to stop worshiping the deity. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Perfect. That's it. Yes, sacred. I can't pin messages in the voice chat. That's just fucking wrong. I should be able to pin shit. We could pin so much stupid shit in here. Alright, so there we go. Not unlike seeing a friend who might have moved far away and you lost touch with. I know. And yet we have so many features now. Actually, I like a lot of the new features in Discord. We use threads a lot. In the mods, we use threads a lot. And we would like to openly encourage everyone to use threads. It helps keep conversations, like if you're going to have like a deep conversation or long term, like if you want to go back to it, really helps with that. You guys can have individual conversations within channels too, if like people just want to talk about a specific thing. I'm just saying. Acknowledging the end of the dedicant is also important, right? It's how you may want to end things. You can end it more ritualistically, or any way that you like. Ugh. Elements of an oath. This was great. We're not gonna super go into this because it's just doing an outline for us. So remember I said about the time frame? Sometimes leaving things open is good, sometimes it's not. Oh shoot. Yeah. Threads are like a new thing. If you click on in a regular channel, like where the same area where it's like emoji and the reply thing, there should be one that looks like a spindle. I know that they wanted it, but like if you're not a sewing person, you wouldn't know that that's what it is. So yeah, and then you can make it be like make a new thread. You guys should have the ability to. I'm pretty sure members have that option. Tell me if I don't. It used to have a different icon. Oh, yep, awesome. Yeah, enjoy. I'll probably be doing an announcement with that as well because I'm very late on doing the monthly announcement. I like completely forgot. Okay, specific is what is to what is promised. Yes, this is important, and I want to be like, and things you are not willing to do. There you go. So, like pretending you're making a wish with a genie, right? Who might misinterpret what you say. Be very clear. And here's another one relating to my marriage. I was so distraught for my husband at one point that I did. I found myself doing a ritual. And when I say I found myself, I mean I didn't realize I was doing the thing until I had finished doing it, and then it's like my brain replayed backwards all the things that I did. I was just in this state of immense distress. And because my husband was talking about some very dangerous things. And it broke my heart. And so there was an offering. Again, it was an offering of my hair, which is a big thing for me. In front of me, blah, blah, blah. Like it was on fire because I like fire. Yeah. And so, and I was like, please, I just want him to be okay. Like, that's it. I don't care what, I just want him to be okay. And later on, fairly, like in the past, like 6 months, or whatever, I'm not sure actually. Time is a blur. Sorry, I hate this song. The noise, the dinging is just driving me insane. It's called Bright Star. That makes sense. Later on, I realized, and I was like, because when the day that I told him I wanted a divorce, the next day he came back crying after he talked with his sister, which was the first time he talked to her in a long time. And he had a whole different attitude. It was better. It was better for him, and I was so happy. And I realized, like, later on, being like, oh, he's gonna get the help that he needs. And then I remembered the thing to Hera, the offering to Hera, and I just went, the price was high. The price was high. So make sure you're specific with what you want and what you do and don't want. Because sometimes the price might be higher than you thought. Exactly. Do your goals with a smart mythology. Yes. We're bringing productivity into spirituality. These are really good questions. When I was reading it, I was thinking that these are really good questions to ask yourself when you're doing a dedication, to help get that clarity into what it is that you want. Surety. I like this one because I didn't think about this one. This may or may not be present in your oath, but it's, yeah, I love that it's like saying cross your heart and hope to die, etc. God, I can't remember that whole thing. But yeah. It might be something non-specific offered as a penalty years ago, and may the earth swallow me whole. Witnesses, and I love this, your mileage may vary. Witnesses, kind of like oaths, but your mileage may vary. So they are there to on some level validate that it was spoken and must be adhered to. Just what we were saying, like a notary public, right? And that's it, everyone. We do have some suggested exercises. I did not mean to highlight that, but there it is. How do I erase it? There's an eraser tool in here, and I know that there is. I'll find it later. Oh, wait. Ha! So, yes. So, I'm going to copy these out. Yeah, I figured people didn't realize that there were threads. If you go to the Books and Club, which I'm totally going to change the name of, there's a thread that's for dedicant, devotee, and priest. That's the book we're reading. I'm going to go ahead and copy the suggested exercises for this time in there. I will at Book Club, see if that tag, it should tag and bring everyone. Oh, some roles were not mentioned or added to this thread. Do I have to add it manually? I'll figure that out. I don't know. But there's a thread in there. If you go to the top bar where it actually says the channel name, there should be a thread button. You should be able to see that. I gotta come back to the channel. There we are. Yeah. Been in the stream properly. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So next time, we're gonna go on Chapter 8, Patron Deities and Other Divine Relationships. Okay, it starts at 1:35. Let's see how long this goes. It's 1:34. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna do all of section 2, part 2. It's called Chapter 8. From 1:35 to 1:45. All right, and I'm also going to put it in the chat in the stream so that in case we need to double check that later, it'll be easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, everyone, that's it. You're welcome to obviously join us again. Please, if you want to chat about this section or about the next section while you're reading it, do so in that thread. And at this time, of course, as always, we want, where's my thing? We want to say a big thank you to our sponsors who I have listed in a thread. If I can, I should get this and just copy it out. We have some amazing Patreon peoples who help support us on Patreon. If it will open it for me, thank you. Mycius Porcius, Boop, Ever, Sam, who's also I believe their name is Titty on the server. Zephyr, our secretary. Melissa, who is Affectionate Kitten and helps with a lot of the technical stuff on the server. Dugga Thugga and Avery Hush. Wonderful. Thank you very much. And we also want to say a big thank you to our boosters. That allows us to stream things in high quality and have larger upload speeds for the server. So big thank yous to Alistair, Alex, Bees, Fernberry, Maz, Mercury, Vinegar, and Dawnbreaker. So thank you to all of you for helping us, and thank you for all of our Twitch subscribers. And you don't need to support us monetarily to help support HH. Just go follow us on all of our social medias and interact with the content, attack the algorithm, etc. Yay! Didn't Mance leave? I don't know. I don't remember the name, but we still say thank you for their tribute regardless until it finishes because I think they paid for this moss. If I'm correct. We ride at dawn. Yes. All right. Let me see here. I'm not sure if we have anyone that we could raid to. Let's try to look here. Yes, attack the algorithm. There's actually a whole movement on TikTok of supporting indie creators because of and blocking ads and accounts from big corporations so that the small creators can get access to the creator fund, and like there's a whole math to pay off debt and stuff that, if I get so many people to follow and know this, I'll be able to pay off my student or be able to pay off this debt. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It messed up my feed. I didn't like it. But it's hilarious. I want to find someone. Same category. Let's see what's going on. That doesn't help. I wish I could. Oh, I can search. I'm gonna search people. Anyone talking about books. Or not. I don't know. Alright, we're gonna let it go. That took too long. Their new rating feature just shows literally everybody, and like it's hard to figure out find one that's like actually gonna be interesting to everyone in here. So I have to. I mean, that means that Victoria or somebody else, if anyone would like to volunteer for it, and I should put this as one of the volunteer job things, to find accounts that we can have as a list and support, and I don't have to look at all of fucking Twitter. Not Twitter, Twitch. All right, everyone. Please. And by the way, Stella, how's the article going? Anyone can be a writer and a volunteer. Like Stella has been volunteering to write for HH, right? That's what it is. There's a lot of volunteers. It's hard to keep track of everybody. But appreciation for the support. Thank you all, and we're gonna stop the streams. Bye.